Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Me and my team have been breaking down the patch notes, running the numbers, testing, and I am now ready to unveil my first 4 builds for Cycle 2 Harbingers of Ruin. These builds, we tried to lean into 3 qualities. They have to be extremely fun, they have to be new and fresh, so something mildly different, and they should be able to kill the Pinnacle boss. So if you're coming in here, hey, I need 1-button builds, I need bugged builds, I need 1,000 corruption builds, that's not how these are designed. These are supposed to be new, fun, fresh, kill the Pinnacle boss. And by the way, if you have not joined my Discord yet, you should. We are 70 members away from 4,000. We are the unofficial voice chat of Last Epoch. Last for Cycle 1, we had over 10 voice parties going. We got people talking builds, trade. We have a new treasure hunt event, the 7th treasure hunt event. We're going to be looking for the Nihilus Amulet. You can still sign up for it to win some merch. We've got Last Epoch key giveaways. It's always a blast. Check out my Discord. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Build number 1. We are currently on Last Epoch tools, and I've been talking about this build ad nauseum on stream and in Discord. This is going to be my brand new Primalist Beastmaster Raptor pack. So previously you could only have 1 Raptor. Based upon the brand new Tooth one-handed sword, you can now summon Raptors up to your companion limit. And for this build, we will have 5 Raptors. But if you really want to go all out, this build is capable of 6 Raptors. I just think getting that 6th Raptor isn't worth it, but I will show you the build. Now, the 3 uniques we're using the Legacy Helmet, which will give you 1 extra companion. We are using the new Tooth Sword, and right here we are using Ribbons of Blood. When you are actually looking at the skills, we have 27 points into Raptor, which is possible because of the new sword. We are using Swipe. We are using Leap. Warcry. Warcry is going to put Berserk on our 5 Raptors. And we are using Eterra's Blessing. Now, Eterra's Blessing, this is the one skill you could switch out if you wanted a 6th Raptor. And I'll show you how you do that. But by switching out Eterra's Blessing, you are losing minion movement speed, attack speed, refresh ability on companion, being able to bring them back to life when downed, resistances, minion stun immunity, and basically unlimited potions because you can make unlimited healing totems. So that would what you'd be giving up for Eterra's Blessing, and it is automated through the Druid passive tree where you can use it every 12 seconds after leaping, okay? But this is what you would do, and it couldn't be easier. You switch out Eterra's Blessing for Summon Wolf, and then you come over here and grab this node, Pack Hunters, and this would give you +1 to maximum companions. And legitimately, that's it. So now you don't have this skill, you don't even look at it, and you can make a 6th Raptor. Is it possible? Yes. Yes, it is. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Now, in the passive tree for this, standard minion setup. If you've seen my solo bleed Raptor build, it is very similar to that. And inside of Beastmaster with its new tricks, we have updated this based upon the updates. So aspect of the boar on melee hit, we're still taking that. That has moved. And all these other nodes, for the most part, are exactly the same. Moving on to build number 2. And I should have mentioned, of course, all these builds are linked in the description. And this is my Rune Master Disintegrate Righteous Fire Aura. This one took lots and lots of time to put together. It is definitely going to be different, and I promise you, at bare minimum, it is going to be a blast to play. Now, when you're looking at Disintegrate, a lot of people are excited about this skill, not because it has some new item or something that dropped that's going to make the skill awesome. It's because literally it's an entirely new skill. And inside of Disintegrate, you can run it as lightning fire, only lightning, or only fire. And in this case, we are running it as fire. And the new Inferno node, you have a chance every second to make a fire aura. And we are taking this as twin beams. So every second we will be making 2 fire auras. and we are going to scale this through multiplicative damage in your intelligence. We are also coming here and getting all the new nodes, which is going to allow you to stay in tier 2, tier 3 of Disintegrate as you traverse. And people always ask, Aaron, why aren't you doing a mana stack? Oh, mana stacking source. That's all I hear every second. The reason why I am not using a source mana stacking is because we still want the Glyph of Dominion. This is going to give us 40% multiplicative damage. This is going to give you sustain. You can turn it into fire. It's going to give you resistances. It is just still so good for Disintegrate. And through Runic Invocation, you're going to be able to use the Winds Invocation, which is going to give you 4 stacks of Fire Aura. Now, throughout my testing, I have been able to maintain easily 10 stacks of Fire Aura. But if you got a good groove going, you can have 20 stacks of Fire Aura. Why? Because Disintegrate's going to be giving you Fire Aura. Flame Ward's going to be giving you Fire Aura. Runic Invocation is going to be giving you Fire Aura. And of course, we are using our head, which is also going to give you Fire Aura while channeling. It is so much fun. Basically, you just run throughout the map, killing all little enemies. You stop with Glyph and Disintegrate to kill anything big, and then you just keep running. I am determined to make Righteous Fire a reality in Last Epoch. Now, you're probably thinking, Aaron, yeah, that's great, but Fire Aura sucks. And that is true, but it is way, way better now. I'm not saying it's meta. I'm not saying it's unbelievable. It is not your main damage dealer, but it is much, much better. Looking at the Spellblade passive tree, Fire Aura's base damage per intelligence, you can now actually scale the base damage of Fire Aura, and Fire Aura per stack will actually apply Fire Res Shred. So Fire Aura is getting a huge boost based upon the threshold nodes in the passives. So yeah, this build it's going to be a blast. It's so much fun. There's just fire and beams and you're running all over the place. I absolutely love it. Super excited for Fire Aura Disintegrate Rune Master. Moving on to build number 3, and this is my Forged Weapons Forge Guard, which we had a really good time testing and having fun with yesterday on stream. And it is focused around the new Phantom Grip rings. What these rings are going to do is give your minions extra levels, base crit chance, base necrotic melee damage, duration on your forged weapons, but more importantly, the bottom stat, gloves apply to your forged weapons up to 100% effectiveness, and yes, they stack, which means you can potentially have a 200% glove effectiveness on your forged weapons. Now, this does only work with stats. It does not work with skills, so don't think you can cast tornadoes or figure something out. But for example, what kind of stats would you want on your gloves? Maybe melee attack speed, attunement, armor shred, life. That's what we came up with, which would likely be the best stats. It is going to be so much fun to play. Now, normally when you're playing forged weapons, you use the skill Void Cleave. And Void Cleave, you come over here, you basically attack into your weapons, and it super boosts them. In this new build, we are not doing that. We are focused on 3 minion skills. We are using Ring of Shields, minion. We are using Manifest Armor, which is going to be awesome, minion. We are using Forge Strike, which boosts our forged weapons. Sigils, which will boost the damage of our forged weapons. And then we are using Warpath as a way of generating said weapons. Now, I know there are other ways to make forged weapons. You could use Rive, and you can use Multi-Strike. We tested this, and I'm telling you right now, Warpath feels the best for sure. And if you feel like you're not spamming or getting enough weapons quick enough, we made it where you do not have a cooldown on your Forge Strike, and you could just spam it to make some weapons quickly. So for example, if you're in a boss fight or something like that. So those are the skills. They have perfect synergy across all of them, and I think it's going to be very, very good. On top of that, something kind of cool, inside of the Forge Guard passive tree, they have updated some of the nodes, and we're definitely getting some love for minions, but this is the node that should be fun to test. So for this build, you want to spec in as much block chance as possible. Not only does it give you sustain, but also there's a chance on block to actually proc your Ring of Shields for you. So you literally never have to click the skill yourself. So if you got 50, 75% block chance, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, you're going to be able to proc that shield on hit. And the cooldown on that is this effect can trigger every 3 times for 6 seconds, which actually feels about right. So this is going to be our new suit of armor, Forge Guard Manifest Weapons. Last but certainly not least, build number 4. This is my Primalist, Druid, Swarmblade, Hive Queen. And my Hive Queen I've been working on, this is probably like the 6th iteration that focused around Locust. And the reason why this is my top 4 is because of this new 2-handed spear, the Dragon's Tongue. Chance to summon Locust on hit with Serpent Strike, maximum Locust, melee attack speed, increase attack and movement for Locust, melee physical for Locust, and up to +5 to poison skills. This is going to be so much fun to play. Now, Aaron, why is this going to be fun to play? If there's any fans of companions, of bugs, of minions, you're going to have locusts, you're going to have bees, you are going to have Spriggan, you're going to have vines, you're going to have a serpent, and you are going to have wolves. 2 of them. Yesterday when we were streaming and putting this together, people called it the pest build. Oh my gosh. I don't know. This one might move up the list. We'll see how it goes after Raptor Pack. This is going to be a lot of fun to play. Now, the reason why we added in Keeper's Gloves is because you have a chance to summon a swarm bees on a melee hit, and we hit melee. And really what it is Keeper's Gloves, normally you can find with 3 LP very easily. Even 4 LP is not very difficult. So you're just getting basically minions for free because you could slam any Exalted Glove into it. We're also taking Ribbons of Blood, which is going to give us some leech. It's going to give more melee physical damage, and our minions cannot be crit. So they'll have more survivability having that 100% crit avoidance. So those are the 3 uniques we are taking. Looking at the skills, we are using Swarmblade. Swarmblade is going to buff or basically auto-cast Maelstrom. It's going to auto-cast Serpent Strike. Our Locust Swarm will do minion damage. And then in here, we are speccing into larger Locusts. Because we have so many minions, I'd rather have the multiplicative damage. And if you have any problem whatsoever staying in Swarmblade form, you literally just pull 1 point out of Earth Stinger and put it right here into Grasshopper's Frenzy. Okay? The other skill we are taking is Summon Spriggan, which is going to give us crit avoidance and base crit for our minions. And we are specced into Vines, which are melee physical minions. For Serpent Strike, this is going to give us our Serpent. It's going to give us attack speed, but more importantly, it's going to give us kill threshold at 18%. Maelstrom, this is really just a buff. It's going to give you Frenzy and Haste and help heal you. It'll give you a little bit of dodge and slow enemies. And Wolf was the skill I was trying to figure out. What is going to be the 5th skill for this build? Because we're going around and we're looking at it, and it's like, okay, a Terra's Blessing would work again. Do we really want to use that? And we decided what we're going to use is Summon Wolves. And what I've done is I've added an extra companion, and then I've come over here and I have automated Wolves best I can. Now, what's great is that Wolves have a skill called Howl. And when they howl, it's basically going to frenzy your minions, and they're going to do 25% more damage. So what the Wolves will do is actually do decent damage, and then they're going to buff all the Locusts, the Bees, the Serpent, the Spriggan, the Vines, so that everything is doing more damage from your Wolf's Howl. So those are the skills. Inside of the passive tree, not a ton to talk about for Druid. It is pretty basic. Just know that you will no longer be able to trigger Aspect of the Boar through a melee hit, because that is now on the other side of right here. Aspect Porcupine Constitution is now only for Beastmasters. So this is the new Hive Queen. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, everyone, that's the video. What do you think of my top 4 cycle starters? Do you think at bare minimum they will be fun? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We are 65 members away from 4,000 in my Discord. Join, get in the voice channels, get into the raffles for a free copy of Last Epoch, get into the treasure hunt. It really is an awesome community. Best way to support is always Patreon. We just finished movie night and game night is coming up, and it gives you access to the VIP lounge. And please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing if you think I have earned it. 48-hour stream is 22 hours away. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.